All right. Another thing that I brought that I wanted to show you before we get into the thick of things, we've been talking a lot lately about fades, right? In the Swan City Stitchers, we talked just briefly, I mentioned it last night with the dying to knit colorways because they would look good in a fade. This is the So Faded pullover that I want to say was my very first sweater that I ever knit by Andrea Mowry. And I wanted to show it because these are, gosh, these are some old colorways. Although I think this is Riga up here. I think Riga has been around since like the very beginning. Yes, because I remember Riga came about when, Laura, you'll remember this. What was the name of the shawl that we all gave up on? It was a Scottish pattern. I forget the name of it. Anyway, that colorway, because that name Riga is Scottish, I believe, and it came about with that. So yeah, that has been around for a long time. And I'll be honest, I don't even remember the names of these two. I see the recipes for them in my dye book every once in a while, but I forget what the names are. Something to do with sunset and sunrise or something like that, maybe. And then this down here was the original You Are My Sunshine colorway. So I wanted to show this because as you can see, obviously you can do a solid colorway in a fade. Absolutely. And especially if you do it at the beginning or the end or both. But look at when you've got other variegated and speckled colorways, that's when it really shines. And honestly, I should have, but this was my first sweater and my first fade. I like it better when the fading goes on for much longer. You know, you have a much bigger section that's being faded. But anyway, I just happened to see that in my closet and I was like, oh, I'll bring that to show just because we've been talking about fades. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I know I've faded some other things. I did kind of like in one of my Cumulus blouses had where I alternated the rows, but they were both solid, so it doesn't really look like it was faded, but essentially it's the same technique. So anyway, that is that. I need to make another one. I think I really like that extra light bright pattern. So who knows, maybe I'll knit one of those one of these days. Hey, Everdina, you just switched from Instagram. Sorry about that. Yes, I know. See, don't we? It's like we all need to make a baton because it's so awesome and so fun. And there are plenty of videos if you have any issues or questions about the welts that Lonnie was kind enough to send me all the links, which I want to go through and watch them all. And I've already set up a draft email that I can send to people when they come in to the booth and ask about it. And I can be like, send me your email or give me your email and I'll send you all the helpful links so you can knit it. No problem, right? Hey, Kim, happy to see you. Hey, Lonnie. Did I already say hi, Lonnie? And then Jaleesa, hello, welcome. Thank you, Jaleesa. Yes, I have to say that for my very first sweater, it's not bad. I remember thinking that I made an obvious mistake right in the very beginning. Oh, yeah. It was where I was changing colors or weaving in ends. And actually, I think I don't know, maybe you can't see it as well. There for a while, I felt like as soon as I looked at the sweater, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so glaringly obvious. It's right in there. And for a while, I thought maybe I'll do some sort of like duplicate stitch pattern over it to kind of hide it. But I don't know. Now I kind of look at it and I'm like, nah, it's a reminder of, I was still learning. Now I know better than to weave my ends in the middle of the front here. Yeah, now do it on the underarm area, something like that. Anyway, so yeah, I don't get to, I don't know why. Oh, another thing about that one is that it's very, there's no side decreases, which I have learned. I like side decreases. I like that shaping. So I think that's another reason why I don't wear it quite as much. Plus I live in Florida, you know how it goes. And those colorways are not active anymore. Haven't been for a long time. I probably should dye them up again. Anyway, moving on. Yes, a light bright. Yes. Okay. Well, Tracy, I think, trying to remember where you're at with your Fiorellino. You might get there faster than I was going to say. After we knit our Fiorellino, maybe we should do a light bright, but you all might get there faster than me, especially after I tell you my experience with it, which we will talk about shortly. But all right, let me look through my list to make sure. Oh, actually, so yeah, I think we can get into it. So the summer top stitch along has begun, but it is not too late to join in. It will go through the rest of May. And obviously all summer long, I will probably be knitting summer tops as I have time. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. So, and if you are not aware of the rules, then you can find them in the Swan City Stitchers Facebook group. So, all right, speaking of the summer top stitch along, I have projects that I want to show you. You all have been making excellent progress. I will say, and I know this, Teresa commented and said she hasn't even got hers wound yet. And that I totally get that. You know, sometimes you get busy and life happens. So the first couple of projects I'm going to show you are not from the summer top stitch along. This first project that I want to show you, and this is the one that I don't remember if I forgot it last week or if it just didn't when I was going through my photos. Because when I grab y'all's whips from social media, sometimes they just get mixed in with my photos. So then I have to go searching through when I want to make up these graphics for the live. So this particular project, Anne said this week's project, so I'm guessing it didn't take her very long, is it's the Fight EB scarf by Casapinka. And she made it with leftovers of candy shards on trusty sock, and then a very pale pink mohair that she carried along with it. And I love it. It looks gorgeous and very cute on Eunice as well. And then Linda knit up some socks that she's gifting to someone else, which I thought looked awesome. She says they're Swan City colorways. I'm not sure what the colorways are, and I didn't want to be nagging and say, what are the colorways? But it kind of looks a little bit like You're Blushing and Bubblicious, but I could be way wrong. I'm just guessing there. Anyway, I love the two pinks together, Linda. They look amazing. And this here is, okay, so here we begin the Fiorellino. Well, they're not all Fiorellinos, the summer tops that have been posted so far. And there's more in the Swan City Stitchers. I only have been highlighting the ones made out of yarn that I've dyed. I admit it, but there are many more projects in the Facebook group. If you have not been looking, I encourage you to do so because they're gorgeous and there's different patterns in there. Not everybody's knitting the Fiorellino, but this is Tracy's Fiorellino. She is using Leprechaun, the same as I am. And yes, you are definitely ahead of me, Tracy. But it's looking very good. And then I believe, oh yes, I have two pictures of Erica's sweater because she's knitting what's called the Lizzie sweater. She's using Stargazer and Sprinkles. And the Lizzie, and this is the most recent picture. Look at this, y'all, that she posted. So she switched her colors. I believe the pattern sample that the designer shows has the main color being the speckled colorway, and then the solid is the coordinating color or a contrast color, but Erica flipped it, and I absolutely love this. And yes, those are brioche rows in there that you see. So this is for you brioche fans, but I absolutely love it. All right, and then look at Sabrina. So far, this is the most progress that I've seen on anybody's Fiorellino, and I'm jealous because it would appear that Sabrina is past the yoke, which is where I would love to be right now, but alas, I am not. So, but I love the look of this. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. All right, and then I also have two pictures from Karen. So she is using Candy Coated. This is her first picture that I found of the Fiorellino. And then I had to post this one as well. She was a little further along and getting help from her kitty cat. All right. And then Anne, She is using peach tea. I also have 2 pictures of hers because dun, dun, dun. Whoops, where's it at? There it is. Look at that one. Very nice. It looks like you're almost through with the yolk there, Anne. And I have to tell you, I am not as far as I would like to be on my Fiorellino. So this is where I am. I would really like to be further along. However, you know how the pattern she tells you, she clearly says, make the knit yarn over knit loosely as you will be purling 3 together, these loops on the next round. Do you think that I did that? No. If you'd been sitting beside me on the couch last night, you would have known that I did not. I was not happy, and my tummy sore. Anne, is this where yours hurts? Mine hurts here because I was holding on to the needle while I was yanking down on the stitches, trying to stretch them out. And honestly, the first round of the Fiorellino stitches made me want to cuss because you know how in the Fiorellino stitch, you're picking up those 3 legs? I believe we were knitting them together, if I remember correctly. Anyway, that 3rd leg on my size anyway, is a make one left from the previous round. And those are always tight. I was not a happy girl. It took me forever to get through that round. And I don't know why, when I got to the purl 3 togethers after the knit yarn over knit row round, I don't know why I didn't just stop, go back and undo that round. Oh, probably because it's a knit yarn over knit. That'd have been maybe a pain in the butt to undo. I don't know. It took me so long to do those purl 3 togethers that it took me like all evening. So that's, yeah, anyway, I'm trying not to be resentful of how little progress I've made, given that I've been working on this all week long since Monday. I will say this, it did force me to slow down, and I realized today, because I had got past that and I did my next yarn over and then purl 3 togethers, and it was much better because I did it looser. It didn't make me realize how much I do enjoy knitting. Like, oh yeah, I actually do like knitting, which sounds weird, but sometimes when you constantly feel pressured to, oh, I got to get some knitting done, then, sometimes you can forget how much you like doing something. So, but it was a reminder that, oh yeah, I actually do like to knit. Let's see. I don't know. Let's see. The Dunedin, that shawl, that one, that's where Riaga came from. It did. Thank you, Jaleesa. I'm glad you think so. And then Tracy, you're not, because you're not through the raglan increases yet. Yeah. That's sorry. Don't mind me. I'm just reading the comments here. Hey, Connie, glad to see you here. Yes, Tracy, I thought of you when she posted that the Lizzie sweater, because I know you like brioche. So, Bo, I would love for you to post that part too. I don't know who you're talking to. You talking to me or are you talking to the ladies? I know, Liz, I know, but I think it's because I feel pressured to constantly, I have to show progress. Like I'm some super knitter. And obviously y'all know that I am not a super knitter. Yeah. And then, yes, and you do learn the tricks as you go. I know. Tell me about it. So speaking of that, of tight knitting and all of that stuff, let me show you, I want to show y'all where I'm at with my Stockholm slip over. So Oh, because let me tell you, last week, if y'all remember, I showed you my gauge swatch for the Fiorellino. I don't have it with me today because I ripped it out. So as I told y'all, I had a decent section of the swatch done last week. And as I always do, once I get a decent amount, I kind of do a pre-measuring just to see if I'm way off. And I think the gauge swatch on this recommends for a size 3 needle, yeah, 24 stitches. And I was like at 18. Like, and I knew once I blocked the swatch, it was going to be probably even bigger. And I was like, so that'd mean even less stitches. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know. And I think I was in a hurry to get started. And I didn't feel like knitting another gauge swatch. Plus, I realized something. I think that when I knit my gauge swatch, I am much more relaxed. And I think my tension is actually looser when knitting a gauge swatch, which is very frustrating because I'm like, that kind of defeats the purpose of doing a gauge swatch. Plus, the way that I do them, wrapping the yarn around the front and not knitting in the round, but emulating that knitting in the round by wrapping the yarn around the front, I think it changes the tension as I'm going. And I don't know, I think I just knit looser when I'm gauge swatching. That's just a feeling that